Vin Scully is a Dodger legend, and current players realize it. They definitely appreciate the opportunity to work alongside him.
Vin Scully is not just, California baseball to me, but just baseball in general.
He knows things about me that I don't even know about myself. And it's funny, but he's a great guy, and he does his job well.
I had a chance to talk to him, in the clubhouse, on the plane trip sometimes, and just to hear him talk in person, some kind of gives you chills every once in a while just to know that it's not the typical on TV and calling a game. It's actually he's talking to you, and that same cadence, that same way he talks on TV is the way he carries the conversation. So it's pretty neat.
The one moment that I remember most was the very first exhibition game I did with the Dodgers in 2005. We're at Holman Stadium in Vero Beach, and a terrible hurricane had blown through. There's some question as to whether or not we were even going to be able to play that game that very first day. And they were at game time, they were still putting the stadium back together. The scoreboard was dangling with wires. And I'm trying to explain in some repertorial style as to what this place looks like after this horrific hurricane. And I'm huffing and I'm puffing, and I thought I did a reasonably good job. And then I had the pleasure to say, and now with the play-by-play, here's Vin Scully.
Okay.
Vin sits down and says, as we look out at the palm trees, off in the distance, there are some old palm trees that have been knocked down and blown over. There's some palm trees of middle age that are just hanging on. And then there's some new palm trees that have just been planted. And he said, isn't that what spring training is all about anyway? And that's when I got up and left, and I said, I wish I could compete on that level.
Mr. Scully, what has been your most memorable moment with the Dodgers so far?
Well, I would think there are several, of course, over the years. In Brooklyn, it would be the World Series that I did in 1955, when I guess, was the first one able to say, ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Dodgers are the champions of the world. It had never been said before, and it was never said again.
Doing this long, being from a guy who has seen the players play in Brooklyn and was in Brooklyn for quite a while before he came out to LA, and then still here, and then someone who just is so knowledgeable about the game. I think that's something where you got to respect that. Guys who've been around a long time obviously have a lot of knowledge and a lot of expertise in what they do, and he could probably be a good confidant for some managers to go and ask him about certain situations or other things, just because of all the different things he's probably seen over the years and watching and calling games.
Which player, out of all of the many players that you've worked with, has been the most pleasurable to deal with?
I could not, and I'm happy to say that. I couldn't say there's one.
Really?
No, I've had a very happy relationship.
Vin is a poet.
I mean, there are times when I get home and I watch reruns and I hear some of the stuff he says, and I was like, man, he really knows a lot about the players, and I can't quite remember anything, but like I just said, he just knows so much about the game and so much about people that it's an unbelievable gift.
I'm Melissa Rohlin, reporting for the Los Angeles Times.